Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bronx Community Board 7's June 2023 General Board Meeting. My name is Carla Cabrera Carrera. I am the district manager at this community board. On May 20th, Mayor Adams issued an emergency executive order for 11's, extending the state of emergency through June 19th. According to this video conferencing law, we are allowed to host our meetings remotely. We send out meeting reminders via email, and also we post them on our social media pages, and we post the recordings on YouTube if you would like to go back and rewatch the meeting. Please remain muted when you're not speaking. If you're calling in from your cell phone or landline, listen to the following controls for joining. To hear all available commands, enter ** on your phone, *6 to mute or unmute yourself, and *9 to virtually raise your hand. Our code of conduct is as follows. Bronx Community Board 7 has the right to remove and/or ask a member of the public to leave a meeting or block participation of anyone who engages in inappropriate conduct, including but not limited to obscene or offensive images or language, personal attacks, threats, or any other behavior that reasonably impedes the orderly administration of the meeting. Repeated offenses will be reviewed by the board's executive committee or any other assigned committee for a ban, the amount of time to be objectively determined by the above committees of the participant in the event of repeated disruptive behavior. If in-person outbursts or attacks continue, this will be considered disturbing the peace and the authorities shall be summoned. I will now start the public hearing session. This is an opportunity for the public to comment on any motions we have on the floor, and just to make comments in general or to make any announcements. I'll start by calling our elected officials. Do we have anyone here from the mayor's office? Alina, are you?
Yes, I'm here. I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to get myself together on the same thing.
Okay.
I just want to continue to share. Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Alina Dow. Nice to see everyone here. I just wanted to share that June 26th is the deadline. We really want to get our youth employed. I've asked before, we want to get as many jobs as possible, employers that we know if we can get them to sign our children up. We want them to be in our communities so that they can learn how to respect and grow in the community. But by doing that, they would need to know how to work a job in the community. So if you know any employers that would be willing to take on some of our summer youth employees, please, I can share it in the chat. Out. We have a talk with Eric town halls coming up. There's going to be a series of different town hall community conversations that the mayor's having. He really wants to hear what people have to say about some of the concerns in the community. We have all of the commissioners that are there. We just had one last night in Hunts Point. It was really amazing. We were able to have a lot of the commissioners representation from every single agency. What the mayor does is he wants to make sure that in addition to coming out and sharing your concerns, that actually we are able to have people from different agencies address the needs right there. So that is something that, the mayor's definitely happy about. Breaking bread, building bonds. This is an initiative that the mayor has done. He's practiced this before, the proof of concept. People from just 10 people coming together from different backgrounds, different teams that will break bread together, have committed to building a bond together, which then stops the hate that's happening amongst each other. And if anyone's interested in hosting a dinner, please tell me. I will be a facilitator. I will come and we will just enjoy just breaking bread together. I'll also put that link in the chat. I know there's a lot of asylum seekers that are coming in, and the mayor is asking us all to be patient. He's seeking different resources from the federal government. In addition, he's asked support from the state. And I know that they just had They just had a recent a press conference regarding it. Just again, he's trying his very best to figure out the best way to do this for the community at large. One of the things is that that's really big on the topic, and I want to make sure everyone is aware of. The mayor did pass policy. He wants to make sure that all of the officers know how to communicate with people with on the autism spectrum, with people with disabilities. So they're going to be providing training to make sure all officers are able to communicate effectively with people with autism. Um, the mayor has a podcast, and he also has Stay in Touch with Eric. Please sign up for the newsletter. There is a lot of good things that are happening within the city. I know a lot of times the news doesn't have extra time to cover all the great stuff that the city is doing, so we often only hear all of the negative stuff. Please sign up to the newsletter. I'll put the link in there, and then you can hear some of the good things that are happening directly from the top leadership of the city. I'll share my information. As I said before, I'm Alina Dow. I am the Bronx Borough Director for the Mayor's Community Affairs, and if I could be of service to anyone, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you so much, you all.
Thank you, Alina. And Sheila from the Norwood News just pointed out to me that I may have said that this is the June 2023 meeting. This is the May 2023 meeting, general board meeting. I'm jumping ahead in time, but I just wanted to correct that mistake. Next, we have Serimar Olivares from the Public Advocate's Office.
Hi, everyone. Can you all hear me? All right, perfect. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Mar Olivares. I just recently started with the Public Advocate's Office in their Policy and Legislative Division. Some of you might remember me from Councilmember Sanchez's office. So shift over here. But I just wanted to introduce myself. I'll be attending all of the full board meetings on behalf of the Public Advocate's Office from now on. And so I just wanted to give you a quick update from our office. Recently, the Public Advocate went down to Washington, D.C. for the Immigrants Rise movement. And so his purpose for going down to Capitol Hill was to advocate for federal resources regarding the asylum, the migrant crisis that's currently going on. So I will link our blog in the chat, and you can read a little bit more about it and what our policy recommendations and asks were. Additionally, a few pieces of legislation passed by the PA, a homeless bill of rights, which codifies the rights of homeless individuals, both outside of and within the shelter system, and a street safety bill requiring Department of Transportation to expedite studies of traffic crashes. And finally, we also had last week our annual State of the People. So there were a lot of different events around the city dedicated to different themes such as housing, infrastructure, and environmental justice. So you can also see some of the updates for that on our blog, which I will link. And I will also leave my information in the chat. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Serimar. Next, we have the Comptroller's Office. Bronx Borough President's Office. Kira, are you still on?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm Kira Gannon, the new Director of Community Boards for the Borough President. I don't think I've been to a CB7 meeting in my new capacity. I was the former District Manager of Community Board 8, so I'm very familiar with CB7, and I congratulate Carla on your new position. I can't wait to continue working with you. I just have a few updates from the Borough President. Sunday concluded a 13-day Bronx week, which was really great. We had so many different events, from the Bronx Ball to the Kingsbridge Armory event to a prom dress and suit giveaway to the parade on Sunday, which I know CB7 marched in. It was great to see you guys out there. And we finished up with a concert and a food festival. In addition to that, we have a few Pride Month events coming up, and tomorrow we have a Taste of Africa event at Bronx Community College. If anyone is interested, feel free to reach out to us. And then lastly, we are finalizing our reappointment and appointment process. Reappointments should be going out by the end of this week. They'll be sent in emails this year for the first time, and then new appointments won't be taking place until June. We have a record number of applications. We interviewed everybody this year, so it's just taking a little bit longer. And that's it. I'm here. If anyone has any questions, I'll put my information in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Kira, and welcome to your first CD7 General Board meeting. Anyone here from the District Attorney's Office? And I believe I saw State Senator Gustavo Rivera.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry. Just okay. Hold on a second.
Okay.
I was here in my luxurious Albany digs, and I was just warming up some leftovers. So just I was over at the toaster oven. So salud. Good evening to everybody. So got a couple of things that I want to update folks on. First things first, you folks obviously know Sadi Mendoza, one of my community affairs representatives and person who's assigned to this community board. So on any and everything, please make sure to reach out to Sadi. So we were able to, the budget was very late. It was very, 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 very late, but we finally got one. And we can certainly have a conversation about it. I think that it could mostly be described as lost opportunities. There were a lot of things that unfortunately did not happen during it, but there were, as far as things that funding that we got for the district, just a couple of highlights. We had about $135,000 for Housing Court Answers. We got about $50 million in additional funding for legal representation for tenants. That brings it up to about $50 million for tenants statewide. About $140,000 for the HOPE program. About $140,000 for the Kingsbridge Riverdale Van Cortlandt Development Corporation. We were able to increase by $20 million money that we gave to institutions like New York Botanical Garden and the zoo. We also were able to get about $1.4 million in additional money for gun violence prevention grants. And I heard briefly folks talking about the armory earlier, was able to secure the appropriation of just over $100 million for exclusively for economic development at the Kingsbridge Armory site. We're just a couple of weeks, literally 2 weeks away from the session being done, which is this year was going to be shorter anyway. We're ending a little earlier than we usually do, and plus the budget being late kind of really messed a lot of things up and just stalled a bunch of things. But I'll just talk briefly about some of the things that I'm prioritizing these last couple of weeks. Certainly coverage for all, which in a nutshell is extending the essential plan to undocumented folks in the state of New York. And the important thing about that is that if we get a federal waiver to use federal money to extend the essential plan to undocumented people, that could save the state over $500 million. And it could actually get us, it could actually net the state, we've calculated about $400 million to reinvest back into the healthcare system. So that's a very big piece for me, and I'm fighting like hell to get it over the finish line, and we're making some progress to see if we can get it done before the end of the year. Also, we have, there's a conversation that we're having about a good cause eviction. There has been, there are conversations that are happening about a housing package before the end of the session, and it's coming together. We've got our fingers crossed. Ultimately, there's many of us, myself included, that believe that we cannot leave this year without having some tenant protections. And we were trying to get some stuff done in the budget. It fell apart. So hopefully we'll be able to get it done before the end of the year. Also, I've reintroduced the New York Health Act. Well, actually, it's going to be reintroduced momentarily. Everything got stalled because, again, of the budget. But that is the bill that would guarantee healthcare to every single New Yorker, regardless of their wealth, their age, their immigration status. And that one we're going to be reintroducing imminently. I'm also fighting to get to. I know that we've spoken before about overdose prevention centers, and there's actually money from settlements that we're getting from pharmaceutical companies that we've gotten over the years that can help us to support the centers that are already working and are already saving lives. So I'm trying to get that done. And last but not least, and these are just some highlights of the things that I'm fighting for these last couple of weeks. There's a couple of things related to medical debt that I'm trying to get over the finish line. Last year, the governor signed a couple of bills related to ending medical debt, but we've got a couple of big ones that I think are possible before the end of the year. So those are just some of the legislative things that I'm doing over the next couple of weeks, literally over the next couple of weeks as we get to the finish line here. Obviously, as far as the Kingsbridge Armory, I'm sure that somebody has mentioned it before me. The deadline has been extended for the community survey. Survey has been extended to May 26th. So if you have not done that survey, please do so before the 26th. And I'm committed to working along with everybody here, certainly, as well as all the community stakeholders to make sure that this community asset is used correctly and can have a positive impact on the folks that live in this neighborhood and will continue to live in this neighborhood. So I'm committed to continuing that work along with this community board, as well as community groups that are involved in this. Last but not least, just talk about obviously our offices are still in the same place, 187th and Grand Concourse at the Poe building in the 5th floor. We have immigration clinics, so we have legal services for immigrant. We have some legal assistance for tenants as well, and all of those things. The timing and everything, you can connect with Sari, and she'll get them to you. And we're also doing, since as you know, my district changed after the beginning of the year, we're doing satellite offices, but that is mostly, we're doing one in Riverdale and another one in the East Bronx, since the district kind of, like, you folks didn't shift, but then my district went farther north and farther east. But you folks can obviously still come to the district office in 187th Street, but we're doing satellite offices at the Riverdale Senior Centers on the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays of every month, and in the East Bronx at the Bronx House on the 2nd and 3rd Thursday of each month, and all that information is available from Sari. So with that, I will say thank you for having me this evening. I will take any questions you might have, and I'm going to enjoy some of this chicken while you think of questions.
Thank you, Senator Rivera, and buen provecho. And I see there's a hand up. Chad, go ahead.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, Senator Rivera. Quick question on the Health Act. Any material change in the proposed bill that was made as of late?
Not really. There are some changes that we're doing to make things more explicit as it refers to retirees, as well as public sector workers, but the core of the bill has not changed. It is still about guaranteeing healthcare to everybody and funding it through a graduated assessment. So basically based on ability to pay on a payroll tax. Those are just some of the general highlights, but when it gets reintroduced, there'll be a list of things that I'll be able to provide you on some of the technical changes, but there's no fundamental changes in it, just things that we wanted to clarify.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chad. Moving on, we have Senator Robert Jackson's office.
Hi, everyone. My name is Caridad Figueroa. I'm a community liaison at Senator Robert Jackson's office. How is everyone today? Well, I would like to start by saying that as Senator Rivera mentioned, the state budget was finalized after much debate. And even though We didn't get everything we wanted. We did make some notable achievements at the end. This includes sufficient funding in education, Senator Jackson's lifelong fight. Finally, after 3 long decades, our public schools have received the full funding owed, ejecting 2.63 billion into the foundation aid. Also, the state has finally made good on its promise to fully fund our schools. The state legislature successfully blocked CUNY and SUNY tuition hikes for their students while providing 103 million in operating aid for SUNY and 53 million for CUNY. 391 million was allocated for ERAP, that's the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, which will be helpful for renters in public housing and subsidized housing, including NYCHA residents and Section 8. Also, the senator also wrote a letter urging the Rent Guidelines Board to object the rent hikes. We hope that constituents will testify in the upcoming hearing. The hearing will be on June 5th at Hostos Community College. Also, I'd like to state that our office is located at 5030 Broadway. That's on 214 and 15th and Broadway. But we also have satellite offices at the Sedgwick Library and the Jerome Park Library. We will next be there on June 7th and June 27th. Also, the Senator's office is partnering with CUNY on the Heights at 5030 Broadway, and on June 13th and June 7th, we will have our tenant clinic, which will provide legal advice for tenants. I'm gonna leave all this information in the chat. Again, my name is Caridad, and thank you all for having us here. And we urge constituents to give our office a call if they have any questions regarding anything I mentioned.
Thank you, Caridad.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Anyone here from Assembly Member George Alvarez's office? Assembly Member Jeffrey Dinowitz's office? I guess so. James or Ivan? Not sure who is. Okay.
Yep. I just want to introduce myself just because this is newer for me. I'm James Dizelle. I'm the new communications director for Assemblyman Jeffrey Dinowitz's office. I just wanted to introduce myself, and this is also my first board meeting as well. But I just wanted to let everybody know that our office is here to help. In case you needed our office location, we're located at 3107 Kingsbridge Avenue for free notary services as well as document drop-offs, with office hours from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. I could be reached at my email, which I will provide in the chat as well, which is dizelj@nyassembly.gov, or even our office phone number as well, which is 718-796-5345 for any local community issues. I'll also even post something in case you wanted news as to what we're doing and just general updates. I'll post a link to our newsletter as well. But either way, just want to say thank you for having me today. I'm excited for this being my first, board meeting with the community, and I will be the main contact and point that you guys can reach out to going forward. But thank you so much.
Thank you, James, and welcome to Bronx Community Board 7. Next, we have Assembly Member John Sakaro's office.
Yes, hi, good evening, everybody. I hope everybody's day is going great. My name is Anna Sacerdote. I'm the constituent liaison for Assemblymember John Sakaro. I will start with our upcoming events. May 26th, we're having a community food giveaway in partnership with Met Council at 1 p.m. and until supplies last. June 10, we're having a job fair at Columbus High School. The job fair is open to the public, and then if you are an employer and would like to be a vendor, please contact our office at 718-409-0109. Again, 409-0109. And then lastly, we're going to be having a grand opening of our office June 17. There's going to be fun games, community organizations, we'll be tabling food, music, and this is the grand opening of our office. So all of you are invited. Just to move forward, I would also like to speak about some bills that the Assembly member is working on. After the big fire in Morris Park, there's a bill called 805730, which requires installation of smoke detectors in common places of certain dwellings. So that's for safety purposes. Another bill that the Assemblyman is working on is 806882. This one prohibits any cannabis related advertisement in establishments within a certain distance from schools. I know that that's a big one for many people and their concerns. It increases the penalties for prohibited advertisement of tobacco and cannabis products and requires enforcement inspections. That is all. Thank you so much for your time. I will be putting my information on the chat so that if anybody has any questions about the event or about the bills that I've spoken about, you could contact me. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Anyone here from Assembly Member Yudelka Tapia's office? Council Member Oswald Felice's office? George, are you still on?
Yeah, I'm still on. My phone was acting a little crazy. I'm actually cooking too. Yeah, so the updates for the council member's office, for council member Felice, we actually had last Saturday, we actually had a palm dress giveaway in Poe Park. I believe that was the 13th of May 13th. It was from 12 to 4. They had a prom giveaway. So they was giving away prom dresses, tuxedos, for kids that are having prom this year, people that are graduating, and also they over giving away baby clothes too. That was a partnership with Polk Park and Councilmember Felice. And also tomorrow, we're actually having brunch, a senior brunch at the Botanical Gardens. So the senior brunch is from 11 to 1. Anybody that I guess still wants to come can, I believe, can contact Kathleen or contact our office tomorrow morning early. So our number is 718-842-8100. We also located at 573 East Fordham Road. Entrance is on Huffman. We're open from 10 to 4. And we also remote on Fridays. That's
Thank
it.
you, George.
You're welcome.
Council Member Purina Sanchez's office?
Hello, good evening, everyone. So my name is Adrian. For those who don't know, I am the Constituent Services Manager in the office of the council member. So I just wanted to quickly start off by, as always, thanking you all for your support. We've had a lot of recent events in which we've collaborated. I did want to start off with the distribution that we had a couple weeks back in partnership with the 5-2 as well, where we were supporting the fire victims. And speaking of that as well, we did have unfortunately have another fire at 139 Father Zeiser. And it was good seeing some of y'all out there supporting us as we were communicating with the victims of that as well. As always, if you know of any folks who have been in those sorts of situations, as always, refer them over we have a bunch of resources at our disposal. We're always happy to collaborate and do any sort of distro. So as always, don't hesitate to reach out. And as far as upcoming events, we do have the Kingsbridge Residents Meeting tomorrow happening at Walton High School at 5 p.m. I know the senator alluded to some happenings around that as well. So definitely spread the word. We would love to have as many community members involved. Again, as always, it'll be a good.
Oh, I think we lost Adrian. Anyone here from Councilmember Eric Dunowitz's office? All right, moving on, we have Susan Peters. Star 6 to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
we can hear you.
Oh, great. So glad. I'm really happy to be able to bring some information to your community board about the implementation of 32 feet tall jumbo cell towers with 5G and 5G in them, because a lot of stuff has happened, and it's really important that the community be informed so people can express their feelings. So far, in the 5 boroughs, 16 community boards are in opposition to the installing of these 32 feet towers, and they're installing them, you probably know already, on the sidewalks, 10 feet from where people live and businesses where people work. So far, there has been elected officials have come out opposing it. Assemblymember Seawright introduced a bill in the state assembly to have a commission to study 5G technology. It hasn't been studied. The telecommunications industry itself has said to Congress that they haven't done any studies on it, and it's much more powerful than the wireless technology that we already have. Also, Assemblymember Simon also put through a bill for a commission to study 5G technology. And State Senator Lanza from Staten Island, he put a bill much more specific. For one thing, he's asking for a 250 feet setback from where people live and children go to school. And the city is putting them in 10 feet from where we live, and kids walk by, pregnant women walk by. There's a lot of public safety concerns. There's privacy, security, and there's an insufficient fall zone. These are 32 feet towers. If they fall, they're going to fall, and they fall towards the building on the sidewalk. There's going to be a real problem.
Susan, I don't mean to interrupt, but we have a 2-minute limit on comments. Maybe you can add your contact information in the chat, just in case anyone has additional questions, they can reach out to you directly.
It would be wonderful. Please contact me. I'll put it in the chat.
Thank you, Susan.
How do I do that from the phone?
I mean, I have your contact information, so if I have your permission, I can add it in the chat.
Oh, thank you very, very much. You have
Right. Next, we have Armando AJ Ramos.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, okay, I'm gonna start now. Similar to the 2021 attempted bylaws update and the resulting failed votes to enact them, I don't understand the rush to enact this current revision and advise the board to take more time in reviewing and approving them, especially with the suggested revisions to Article 5, Section 2, subsection C, due to my advocacy for the public's right to nominate tonight and the rush to stop and censor it, instead of protecting it and the democratic values it represents. As stated in Article 5, Section 2, subsection C of the CV7 bylaws, that all nominations for office in CV7 shall be made from the floor and shall end when no more nominations are made during the nominating section in the May meeting. And now that I have the floor, I reserve and will now utilize my right to have a say in this matter. As you are all appointed and not elected to represent us, you leave the public little to no input on who actually does serve us here at CV7. With that being said, I emphatically nominate and endorse the following members. As chair, Chad Royer. As first vice chair, Samantha Subatsis. Second vice chair, Victor Saldana. Third vice chair, Ruth D. Caraballo. For secretary, Maharani Subajani. I hope I'm saying that right. Member at large, Hugo Gonzalez. And for removal, Edgar Ramos. Also, what's up with the pride flags? It's called Pride Month, not Pride Few Days due to red tape and government action. Thank you.
Thank you, AJ. Just clarification, our bylaws are written for board members and our meeting guidelines are written for members of the public. We, as a community board, did not realize that that had to be made more, a little bit more clearer, but our bylaws are intended for community board members.
Yes, ma'am, but a good loophole is done.
Thank you, AJ. And next we have Theodora Scarato.
Thank you so much. I'm Executive Director of Environmental Health Trust. Our website is ehtrust.org. And we're a scientific think tank focused on prevention and health, children's health, all of our health, wildlife, and birds, bees, and trees as well. So I want to speak about the 5G towers. We have, the question that everyone asks is it safe? And there is more than enough evidence so that there are literally hundreds of scientists internationally saying that safety is not assured and that it's not safe to have these kinds of cell towers so close to where people live, work, and play. You can go to the EMF scientist appeal. You can go to our website to learn more. We ended up suing the federal government related to their limits. They have limits about how much radiation, and it's non-ionizing radiation from cell towers that you're allowed to absorb and into your body. And they have been, they were set in 1996. They have not changed since. And in fact, there is no government agency, as shocking as it is, it shocked me, that is looking at the science, ensuring that those limits are safe, ensuring children are protected. So we sued the FCC. They're in charge of the regulations in this matter because they decided to keep those limits from 1996, a few years ago. And we had a favorable ruling. The court found that the FCC had ignored the science on long-term exposure, on children's vulnerability because they have developing brains. They have, they actually absorb it deeper into their body because they have thinner skulls and a different kind of physiology and more water in their tissue, actually. So they also, the FCC was found to have ignored the issue of long-term exposure because the limits that we have are actually based on short-term exposures. And I am glad for you to go to ehtrust.org to learn more. There's no lack of science. There's no lack of scientific call to action. What we have is a regulatory accountability issue at the federal level, so that when you look it up at the EPA, FDA, and so forth, it looks like all is fine, but actually there's no report where they've looked at all of the science, and that was part of our lawsuit as well. You can also go to the New Hampshire State Commission on 5G to see what the state did there. They have a report on this issue, and they recommend 1,640 feet as the setback for cell towers. Thank you.
Thank you, Theodora. If you can add also your information in the chat, just in case anyone is interested in learning more, they can reach out to you directly.
Absolutely.
Next we have Adrienne, would you like to to give out a couple of additional updates. Are you still on?
Yeah, I'm still here. Very, very sorry about that abrupt exit. But yeah, I just wanted to quickly reiterate everything that was said about the Kingsbridge Armory and those efforts. Again, the meeting tomorrow is at 5 p.m. at Walton High School. Please, please, please spread the word. We definitely would love more folks who continue to make their voice heard and contribute to the future of our armory. And then we, as always, just feel free to contact our office for any sort of resources. We do have NILAG coming to our office on June 2nd, and we have the Urban Justice Center coming to our office on June 6th. So if you know of any folks who are in need of those services, please refer them our way, whether that's via phone, email, or in person. And that's all I have. Appreciate you all.
Thank you, Adrian. Next, we have Sirio Guerino.
Yes, good evening. Very quickly, I want to invite everybody to the 25th on this Thursday, the 25th at the Senior Center on 204th Street, right down from your office. NYPD will be meeting in person. And in honor of that, Greenos Against Graffiti went out and did a lot of graffiti removal on those 2 or 3 blocks along that area. I want to thank everybody who was involved with removing the tires from Jerome Avenue. We got to stick together and get things done. But I have a complaint about Oliver Place lot. It's been totally neglected and died on the vine at the community board. There is no input about what should be done about it. The city spends billions of dollars for immigrants coming into the city, but they cannot turn that lot over to the Parks Department to have it be utilized by the community that's been there for many, many years. So I hope that we don't forget about that. I also want to remind everybody that May will be ending, which means that the DOT requests that I put in will have to be done within a week along Webster Avenue and 204th Street, and I have not seen anything happening along that corridor. And I want to thank everybody, and I hope that we don't have to wait for...
The meeting goes into like...
Somebody's interrupting me. I hope we don't have to wait many, many years for that pride flag to fly high in our community. And thank you, everybody. Hope to see you on Thursday.
Thank you, Sirio, and thank you for covering all that graffiti. And yes, we're definitely working very diligently on the pride flags. But as you all know, city agencies follow protocol, and even Sirio, all the graffiti that you cover, it would have taken a couple of months for a city agency to do just what you did. And that's just part of the process. Next, we have Liana Mercedes.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I just wanted to voice some concerns. I know that the city just launched this Gun Hill Road redevelopment in the Bronx between Webster and Bainbridge. But in the last few days, since they've closed off the lanes and traffic has become bottlenecked, it's very difficult for emergency vehicles to go up and down Gun Hill Road when there's only one lane going in each direction. And I think that's concerning only because the hospital's there, but it took an ambulance earlier this morning about 7 minutes to get from Webster Avenue to Bainbridge. And since most of the streets along Gun Hill are one-way streets, it's not possible for cars to turn into some of these streets. And I think with that and the number of transportation projects that are happening in the neighborhood between Gun Hill and Bainbridge, which is still not completed, I think that it's unfair that they don't have at least traffic officers directing traffic to support with this shifting in the traffic. That's probably going to be, they said that it's going to take 2 weeks. I don't foresee the city getting that project done in 2 weeks. It's going to take much longer, and there should be able bodies there helping move traffic along and stepping in when there are emergency vehicles that have to cut through when there's only one lane going up and down Gun Hill from Webster to Bainbridge.
Thank you, Liana. I am putting my information in the chat, and you can, if you can please send me your contact information, that way I can get in touch with you.
Sure.
Thank you.
No problem.
And that concludes our public hearing session. Yahira?
Hi, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the May 23rd, 2023 General Board meeting. I'm going to start this off with the district manager's updates.
Right. All right, first, a big thank you to our chairperson, Yahira Arias, for being the only other person besides me to attend the Bronx Week Parade. Please email me any suggestions you have on any organizations that can join us next year, just so we can have more representation from the district. We are hiring a community coordinator and a community associate. You might find the positions at www.nyc.gov/forward-jobs. The community coordinator job ID is 587540. The community associate job ID is going to be available tomorrow, and we'll post all of this on our social media pages and also blasted through our constant contact. The 2023 primary election day is June 27th, 2023. Early voting is from June 17th to the 25th, and the deadline to request an absentee ballot is on June 12th. You can find out more information at nycvotes.org, or you can call the New York City Board of Elections at 866-868-3692. Our 23 New York Yankees award congratulations are to Annette Navarro, Annalisa Brown-Vidi, Amy Pichardo, Patricia Asama, and Maya Tejado. All 5 youth will be recognized on the field before a Yankees game on Friday, May 26th. We're having our flagging of veterans' graves at the Woodland Cemetery tomorrow, May 24th at 10 a.m. And the Kingsbridge Armory is hosting an input meeting for community residents, also happening again tomorrow, May 24th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Walton High School campus gym. All New Yorkers 11 years or older can vote on community projects that best address the needs of their communities from May 10th to June 25th. You can learn more at participate.nyc.gov. And we have a couple of upcoming events in June. On Saturday, June 3rd, we have our Veterans Resource Fair from 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Bronx Library Center. And we're having our annual resource fair at Poe Park on Saturday, June 24th. And that concludes the district manager's updates.
Thank you, Carla. As for my updates, just quick thank you to the Veterans Committee for having the flagging event at the Victory Memorial site. It was very nice to see some of our board members out honoring our military prior to Memorial Day. So that was a great event. Also, CEC trainings have been going out via email to board members and I believe the public at large. Please take advantage of those trainings. It's great to know how the boards function and the do's and don'ts. It's great about, it's a good way to understand what the city is doing in reference to giving education as to board members and what the functionalities are. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Senator Jackson and Fidel Malena of the governor's office for walking with us on Sunday at the Bronx Parade. We had a great time. It was great. I wish more board members could have been in attendance. It was a really, really great event. hopefully next year, more members will come out and enjoy and sharing the joy of being a part of this great borough that we call the Bronx. With that said, I'm going to move over to the attendance with our secretary, Ruth. Ruth,
Good evening. Yes, good evening, everyone. Lauris Acosta. Tasha Andrews.
Tasha Andrews, present.
Thank you. Betty Arce.
Betty Arce, present.
Thank you. Yahaira Arias.
Jahaira Arias, present.
Thank you. Emmanuel Asamoah.
Emmanuel Asamoah, present.
Thank you. Eric Asensio.
Eric Asensio, present.
Thank you. Michelle Avila is absent tonight. Toby Buford.
Toby Buford is present.
Thank you. Myrna Calderon.
Myrna Calderon is present.
Thank you. Ruth Caraballo is present. Monjur Chowdhury.
Manjur Chaudhary, present.
Thank you. Sandra Erickson.
Sandra Erickson is present.
Thank you. Nora Fury is on leave. Hugo Gonzalez.
Hugo Gonzalez, present.
Thank you. Alfred Grant.
Alfred Grant, present.
Thank you. Lowell Green.
Lowell Green is present.
Thank you. Helene Hartman Kanowski.
Helene Hartman Kadnowski is present.
Thank you. Jean Hill.
Jean Hill is present.
Thank you. Mahabar Jewel. Mahabar Jewel. I think that's Andrew Leosa.
Andrew Leosa is present.
Thank you. Rosalie Leslie. Rosalie Leslie. Yenny Medina. Yenny Medina. Tanya Pena is absent. Daisy Perry.
Daisy Perry, present.
Thank you. Edgar Ramos.
Edgar Ramos, present.
Thank you. Helene Red.
Helene Red is present.
Thank you. Janelle Robinson.
Janelle Robinson is present.
Thank you. Chad Royer.
Chad Royer, present.
Thank you. Victor Saldana.
Victor Saldana, present.
Thank you. Maharani Subajan.
Maharani Sibajan, present.
Thank you. Carlos Sosa.
Paulo Sosa, present.
Thank you. Samantha Suvaltis.
Samantha Suvatz is present. Thank you.
Thank you. Barbara Stronzer.
Barbara Stronzer is present.
Thank you. Gwendolyn Thomas Steed.
Gwendolyn Thomas Steed, present.
Thank you. Adeline Walker Santiago. Adeline Walker Santiago. Helene Wilson. Helene Wilson. And that concludes our attendance.
Any queries for Rodriguez? I'm in attendance.
Do we meet quorum?
Yes,
Ruth?
we make quorum.
Thank
Yes, we
you.
make quorum.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, moving on to a review of previous month's minutes. Carla, can you put them up?
Yes, one moment, let me see. Hold on, everyone. There were long minutes, long minutes. Okay.
Okay. We can scroll down. So we had our elected officials and representatives. We had the 52nd precinct, all of our electeds and their statuses and events. Okay. Okay, then we moved on to district managers updates, chairperson's updates. We had the ad hoc district manager screening committee. And we had the motion. We moved on to committee reports. Okay. Okay, this was also in the packet emailed by Carla today. Does anybody have any questions, any comments, any corrections?
I move we accept the minutes as presented.
Thank you, Barbara. Do I have a second?
Chad, I'll second it.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Barbara. Ruth, can we take a vote, please?
Quick question, Yahira.
Yes.
I never did get the recording of the budget personnel.
Okay, we'll make sure that gets to you, Jean.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Tasha Andrews. Tasha Andrews.
Sorry, I'm here. I'm driving. I'm here. But I wasn't able to listen at the moment. What are we doing?
We're making a vote on the minutes to accept.
Oh, I accept the minutes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Betty Arce.
Betty Arce accepts the minutes.
Thank you. Yahira Arias.
Yahira Arias, accept the minutes.
Thank you. Emanuela Samoa.
Emanuela Samoa, yes to the minutes.
Thank you. Eric Asensio.
Eric Asensio accepts the minutes.
Thank you. Toby Buford.
Toby Buford accepts the minutes.
Thank you. Myrna Calderon.
Myrna Calderon accepts the minutes.
Thank you. Ruth Caraballo accepts the minutes. Monjur Chowdhury.
Monjur Chowdhury accepts the minute.
Thank you. Sandra Erickson.
Sandra Erickson accepts.
Thank you. Hugo Gonzalez.
Are we allowed to abstain from accepting the minutes, or?
I believe so.
In her head, so I would like to abstain.
Thank you. Alfred Grant.
Alfred Grant accept the minutes.
Thank you. Lowell Green.
Lowell Green accepts the minutes as presented.
Thank you. Helen Hartman Kanowski.
Helene Hartman Katnowski accepts the minutes.
Thank you. My apologies. Jean Hill.
Jean Hill accepts the minutes.
Thank you. Andrew Leosa.
Drew Leosa approves the motion.
Thank you. Daisy Perry.
Daisy Perry approves the minute.
Thank you. Edgar Ramos.
Edgar Ramos approves the motion.
Thank you. Helene Red.
Helene Red approves the minutes.
Thank you. Janelle Robinson.
Janelle Robinson approves the minutes.
Thank you. Chad Royer.
Chad Royer approves the minutes.
Thank you. Maharani Subajan.
Maharani Sibajan approves the minutes.
Thank you. Carlos Sosa.
Carlos Sosa approves the minutes.
Thank you. Samantha Suvatis.
Samantha Suvatis accepts the minutes.
Thank you. Barbara Stronzer.
Barbara Stronzer approves the motion.
Thank you. Gwendolyn Thomas Steve. Gwendolyn Thomas Steve.
Gwendolyn Thomas Steed approves the minutes.
Thank you. The motion passes with one abstention.
Thank you, Ruth. Appreciate it. Next on the agenda, we have a motion being presented by the Ad Hoc Bylaw Committee. Myrna?
Hello, everybody. So after over a year of reviewing the bylaws of CB7 and a prior committee making changes, they are finished. They were presented to the executive board for unanimous acceptance to present to the full board. I will read the motions, and the motion is to accept the changes that were made in the bylaws that all members of the board has been in receipt of, the original, the changes, and sent to the community. So there was unanimous acceptance from the committee members to send it to executive committee. And yeah, there was one no vote, but from the executive board. So Bronx Community Board 7, this is the motion. May 17th, it was presented to the executive committee. And it states as follows. Maybe do you want to put it up so everybody could see the motion?
Yes, I'm
Carla?
sharing my screen right now.
Okay. Okay, so everybody could see in case there's any misunderstanding. And again, parliamentary procedures, bylaws of any organization govern the members of that organization. Motion. Amendments to Bronx CB7 bylaws, ad hoc bylaws committee. Bronx Community Board 7 members recommends the following action: that the ad hoc bylaws committee recommends the adoption of Bronx CB7's proposed 2023 amended bylaws. Background. Community Board 7's bylaws needed to be revised to comply with the city charter to remove redundancies and address needed clarifications. The link is on the document CB7-bylaws-revisions-2019 PDF parentheses NewYorkCity.gov. And also the link of the proposed bylaws in case you need to see it if you have not yet seen it. The rationale for the recommendation is CB7 bylaws were full of redundancies and confusing language, or action bylaws were updated by a prior committee in 2021. However, no vote was taken. Prior action, the bylaws were updated by a prior committee in 2021. However, no vote was taken. Future actions to present revisions to the bylaws of Bronx Community Board 7 for approval of the Executive Committee of Community Board 7 and for a full vote of Bronx Community Board 7. The committee vote was unanimously approved. The Executive Committee motion passed with 9 approvals and 1 no. And of course, I am the Bylaws Committee Chair, Myrna Calderon. So with that, we will open up for discussion or do we have a motion? Do we have a motion to accept the motion as stated?
Do we have a second to the motion presented?
I didn't hear it first.
I'm sorry, who presented the motion?
Hold on.
Tasha second the motion.
Who
Okay,
was the first? I didn't hear it first.
did I? That's what I'm saying. So Betty, I will.
Betty Arce, okay. You
Okay.
first the motion, and
And
Tasha
Tasha
Andrews
second.
seconds the motion. Okay,
Thank you. Now I turn it over to the chair.
okay, thank you. So since we have a first and a second, Ruth, can we take a vote?
Don't we have to discuss it first?
No, you have to
There's
discuss it
comments.
first.
Oh, sorry, there's
Yeah, Ira.
discussion.
We
Sorry.
have comments.
Yeah, you have comments and discussion.
Hold on.
before can-
Let me stop sharing. Maybe that's why no one can see their little hands. Hold on.
Yeah,
Okay, there.
okay, so I'm gonna start with the top. Ugo,
Hi, if we're gonna be voting on a set of bylaws, which were only finally made available on May 17th, shouldn't we actually see the bylaws in this meeting?
the bylaws were sent to all board members.
Yes, we serve the public. This is a general board meeting. We're supposed to be holding things open and accountable to the general public. So we should present the actual bylaws. We should see the screenshot of it, just like we saw the motion.
Can I comment, Chair?
Yes.
Okay. The Bylaws Committees has been opened the entire year. Anybody could have attended, anybody could have commented. We even allowed members of the public to have comments. The bylaws have been sent out in ample time to be reviewed by the board and for the public to review the changes. So this is not the first time they're being seen. So that, that is not correct. They have been seen by the full board. That's all I have to say.
If I could respond to that.
Yes.
The final revised version was sent out May 17th. And yes, there was ample time for people to discuss at those various meetings and stuff. I am not saying anything negative about that. In fact, I commend the ad hoc committee and the work they have put into it. I'm just saying that at this general board meeting, I believe that we're supposed to also present it. That's all. If the board disagrees, the board disagrees. If people disagree, I'm just expressing my opinion.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. I'm on my phone. It's just a lot going on. Well, we did make it available to everyone. The issue here is at this meeting, we cannot go over every single
No, not even.
action.
Sorry, not even
We
going
can
over it,
we can put them up. That's not an issue. Carla, can you put them up on the screen, please? But we cannot go through each and every single section.
Absolutely.
This is why they were sent, and we asked all board members if they had any questions or issue to email us or to attend any of the meetings. So with this being said, we did go back on May 17th and had another meeting to just adjust a couple of concerns that were emailed by other board members. And therefore, the proper amended bylaws were resent to all board members via email. Those who wanted in a print copy was sent, and those, no one responded back as far as I know. Carla, you can prove me wrong, that there were any issues with the amended bylaws that they received.
Yeah, the only comments we received, so they were sent out actually in April, one of the revisions, and then we received comments from Eric Asensio, and also Barbara Strongser made additional comments, which in turn the ad hoc bylaws committee responded by hosting another meeting just to iron out those comments that they received. And that was the meeting that was had the 17th, and there were a couple of other changes made.
Yeah, can I comment? What happened was there was a mistake in one of the paragraphs where something was omitted of the third vice chair, and all we did was correct that change. And there was a comment from the public that thought that motions from the floor meant that anybody could make a motion from the floor. So we fixed that because everybody usually understands that bylaws refer to whatever board or committee that they are supposed to be supervising. So these are the bylaws that go for the bylaws of Community Board 7. Community Board 10 can have a different set of bylaws. Community Board 8 can have a different set of bylaws. They all have to be in compliance with the city charter, which is what we tried to do. And anybody that sits on any other board knows that we have bylaws that govern us. And that's all this is. And all we try to do is simplify the bylaws. The major sections of the bylaws have not been changed other than omitting a position of treasurer because we no longer need that. So they're basically the same. They're just easier to follow and easier to read. And everybody has had ample opportunity to review these bylaws.
Thank you, Myrna, and thank you, Eric Asensio, for the reminder. The changes to the bylaws were actually sent on April 26th.
Thank you.
And they were sent to all of you. You received the original bylaws and then the major changes that were made. And then this last couple of updates, just to make the bylaws very clear, they were sent on the 17th.
Okay, with that being said, I'm moving on. Lowell?
Okay, my question is, if we come across when we adopt our bylaws, and it's a personal pronoun issue, like instead of they put in this position he, do we need to go back through the whole procedure again, or can we just bring it up and by a vote change it?
I would say you will let us know. We can add it to the agenda and we can vote. We can vote on something as simple as that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Next, Helene Red.
I just wanted to add, I seen something when you pull up, it says, you had one no vote and it says it was unanimous. I didn't vote with that, on that. I don't know, and I don't think I was absent at that meeting, and I didn't vote.
I'm sorry, Helene. So first vote was done at the committee level. So only members of the ad hoc bylaws voted on that, and you're not a part of that committee.
Okay.
And then the next level of voting happened at the executive committee meeting, and then you're also not part of that committee. So now we're here at the last layer, which is the general board meeting, and this is when all of you get to vote.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
I'm gonna abstain.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm abstaining. I'm abstaining.
Next, Jean.
You have a title that you have as member at large, and it's defined as duties to assist the board in parliamentary procedures and such duties as assigned by the chair. Why not call it parliamentarian?
We went through this at the committee meetings. Myrna, if you want to chime into this one. We did go back and forth as to what the proper name was going to be. And we ended up with, the committee ended up agreeing with member at large. And Myrna, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're absolutely correct. And the recommendation came from a committee member. And again, I keep saying there were ample opportunities to read that and make a change or suggest a change to the committee. This was a decision of the committee. They worked long and hard on this, and that's why it was made.
No, the only reason I'm asking because member at large sounds vague, to my hearing. So that's what I'm saying. If it's somebody who's working on parliamentary procedures, why not call it parliamentarian? And what was the objection to it?
Because there might be other, as you see from the clarification of what that position would hold, there were other duties that might be assigned, not just parliamentarian.
Okay, so because it's encompassing more than being a parliamentarian, that's why you gave it the catch-all phrase of
That
member
was
at
a
large.
suggestion of committee at large, and that came, like I said, that actually, if you go back to the minutes, I think that suggestion came from Andrew.
Yeah, we had long
they open.
discussions on that one because we wanted to make sure we were clear as to what that position as of an officer was going to be. So there was a little back and forth, and member at large ended up being the one title that we all agreed with.
Okay. Still sounds vague to my ear, but I hear what you're saying. And because it's not just that one particular thing that encompasses more, we don't really know at this point what the more is going to be.
Got it. Well, the removal of the treasurer kind of pushed things to be a little bit more different. So we had to think a little bit as to what was going to be a fit. And again, these meetings are recorded. Any member can go into the YouTube channel and watch the meeting. And if there's any questions, you're more than welcome to email Carla, the chair of that committee, or myself for clarifications. This is why they are posted. And again, we did go back and forth. There was plenty of conversation in all of the meetings that we had in trying to get this clarified. One of the complaints that board members had for a very long time was that these bylaws were confusing. The language was all over the place. There was a lot of redundancy, and we finally got to a place where we cleared it up to the best of our ability so that every board member can understand what they're reading in these bylaws.
The only problem also go back to YouTube. Those YouTube recordings do not come up immediately. Sometimes you have to wait weeks before they actually show the particular one that you might be looking for. So I don't know if when you say go look it up on YouTube, yes, I do go look it up on YouTube, but they don't always come up immediately. So there has to be a way when you send us out the recordings, if we require, like I required before, to send a recording, then you have to send the recordings out because they do not come up on YouTube that fast. It's basically what I'm saying to you.
Okay.
Yeah, can I, Chair, can I just make one comment?
Yes, go right ahead.
So what happened was when we eliminated the treasurer position, that left a void in the members of the executive committee. So we needed to create another position because what would happen is when we voted things in the executive, on the executive committee, we would be short a vote. And so the decision was to either add the parliamentarian or the member at large. And again, what Yahira, our chair, has said is the decision for the full committee was let's make it member at large. And that was it. And that's really why, because really once you eliminated the treasurer position that is no longer needed, it left a void of another executive member on the executive committee. Period.
Okay, that kind of brings a fuller explanation to it, Myrna. I appreciate that.
All right, you're welcome.
Okay, next, Samantha.
Hi, thank you for all that, and thank you for your hard work that you put in. I do have a question. I did try to look at both documents, and well, no, I did look at both documents, but unfortunately not in length. And I was looking to see what the differences were, and maybe I missed it. Were there like strike throughs in the first document where, or the second document where I was able to see, where we were able to see what the difference is between the old one and the new one in the amended document? Yeah, so that's my question. Because as I was going through, it was just a little difficult to kind of see what was going on and what the changes were. And if there were, I just didn't get it. So I just wanted to know if I missed anything. Thanks.
No, what we ended up doing, we went through the committee went through each and every aspect of the bylaws, and we did strike throughs and we did changes as we went back to each meeting, just to make sure we covered we covered everything. That's why we provided the old bylaws and the new ones for comparison. There was not major things changed, just redundancies, some wording here and there, and adding and changing the treasurer position to the member at large. But for the most part, the bylaws pretty much stayed the same. We just made them a little bit easier to understand and to read.
I see. Okay, I understand. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anyone else before we move on? No one else? With no one else having any questions or comments, we're going to move on to a vote. Ruth?
Yes, thank you. Tasha Andrews.
Tasha Andrews approves the changes.
Thank you. Betty Arce.
What are we voting on now? I just want to be clear.
The amended bylaws that were.
Okay, I approve the amended bylaws.
Thank you. Yahaira Arias.
Jahaira Arias approves the amended bylaws.
Thank you. Emmanuel Asamoah.
Emmanuel Asamoah approved the bylaws.
Thank you. Eric Asensio.
Eric Asensio approves the bylaws.
Thank you. Toby Buford.
Toby Buford approves the bylaws.
Thank you. Myrna Calderon.
Myrna Calderon approves the changes in the bylaws.
Thank you. Ruth Caravallo approves the changes in the bylaws. Manjot Chowdhury. Manjot Chowdhury.
Sorry,
Sandra
Manjot
Erickson.
Chowdhury approved.
Thank you. Sandra Erickson.
Sandra Erickson approves.
Thank you. Hugo Gonzalez.
Hugo Gonzalez opposes the motion.
Thank you. Alfred Grant.
Alfred Grant approves the changes in bylaws.
Thank you. Lowell Green.
Lowell Green abstains.
Thank you. Helene Hartman Kanowski.
Helene Hartman Kanowski approves the changes.
Thank you. Jean Hill.
Hill approves the changes.
Thank you. Andrew Leosa.
Andrew Leosa approves the motion.
Thank you. Daisy Perry. Daisy Perry. Edgar Ramos.
Edgar Ramos approves the motion.
Thank you. Helene Red.
Hello, you can hear me?
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how to vote on this. I don't know what to do. So how do you handle that?
Your choices are to either say yes, no, or to abstain.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna abstain on this.
Thank you. Janelle Robinson.
Janelle Robinson approves.
Thank you. Chad Royer.
Chad Royer abstains.
Thank you. Maharani Subhajan.
Maharani Subhajan approves.
Thank you. Carlos Sosa.
Carlos Sosa approves.
Thank you. Samantha Suvatis.
Samantha Suvatis abstains.
Thank you. Barbara Stronzer.
Barbara Stronzer approves the motion.
Thank you. Gwendolyn Thomas Steed.
Sorry, I think you called me. Daisy Perry, I went to the restroom. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, approved.
Thank you, Daisy. Gwendolyn Thomas Steed. Okay, so the motion passes.
Hi, good
No,
evening. This is Victor.
Ruth?
yes.
I was
is that
not
Gwen?
called.
Victor was not
Mr.
called for
Wilson was
last.
not called.
Okay, one at a time. Gwen, what is your vote?
Gwendolyn Thomas Reed approves the changes in the bylaws.
Thank you. Victor Saldana?
Victor Saldana approves the changes.
Thank you. And was there one other person that said I did not call them?
Yeah, you're missing Adeline Walker Santiago.
She's
Yeah, she's absent, and Helene Wilson.
yeah, I see.
So with that, the conclusion, the vote motion carries with 1 no and 1, 2, 3, 4.
So my vote
abstentions.
doesn't count? That's what you're telling me?
Wait, Helene, is
No,
that you?
who?
Yeah, Helene.
Oh,
You-
okay.
Nobody called my name and nobody asked me what I think.
No, I'm absolutely sorry. When I called attendance, you were not present, so I
Okay,
did not
well,
call you
I'm
again.
present now.
Thank you so much. Are you voting yes, no, or abstention to the revised bylaws?
I abstain.
Thank you. The motion still carries with 1 no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 abstentions.
Thank you, Ruth. Okay, moving on. So now we're moving on to the nominations.
Oh, wait, Yahira, I would like to tell Jean something. The recording of the ad hoc bylaws meeting was sent out. You just had to click on it. If there is a way that I can communicate with all of you in a clearer way, or like provide more instructions on how to access the recordings and actually download them on your computer, I'm open to suggestions. You have my email address and my phone number. And the budget, personnel, and ethics committee recording was also sent the next day after the meeting took place. So please do read your emails.
No, I read the emails, Carla, and maybe I thought it was something else, but it didn't say.
No, yes, and if there's something that I can put on the subject line, I'm always open to suggestions. If maybe the subject line is too long, it needs to be a little bit more specific, just shoot me an email and let me know.
Okay, I'll get back to you because I didn't see it and I'll go back through the emails. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean.
Clarification.
Okay, well, moving on. Now with the adoption and vote of the current bylaws, we have to take in nominations for the following officers on our board. So the nominations are for chairperson, first vice chairperson, second vice chairperson, third vice chairperson, secretary, and member at large. Okay, is everybody with me?
Yes.
Just to make sure that we're all clear, I'm just gonna say it one more time. These are the officers that are up for nominations. These are the positions: chairperson, first vice chairperson, second vice chairperson, third vice chairperson, secretary, and member at large. Okay. So with that being said, do we have any nominations for the
Wait,
chair?
Yahira Arias, this is done by the chair of the nominating committee, Helen Red.
Helene?
Hi. Y'all ready? Everybody ready?
You have 2 hands raised over here. I wonder.
Oh, want me put myself back on mute? Y'all not ready yet?
No, you're ready.
Well, it's 2 hands raised.
Yeah, they're to make the nominations.
Right. Oh, okay.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Helene Red, and I'm the chair of the nominating committee. As a reminder, I will read Article 5, Section 1 and 2 of our current bylaws. Section 1 of Article 5, the officers. The officers of the board shall be a chairperson, a first vice chair, a second vice chairperson, and a third vice chairperson. A secretary, a member at large. Can you guys hear me? Am I on mute?
Yeah, no, we can hear you now.
I keep going in and out. Okay. A member at large. Each officer shall be appointed member of the board. Elections of officers shall take place every 2 years at a meeting of the board held in the month of June. Each officer shall serve for a term of 2 years, commencing on July 1st and until their successor has been duly elected. No member shall be elected an officer of the board until they have completed 1 year of the service from the date of their attendance in their first board/committee meeting. No member shall be nominated and or elected unless they are present at both the day of nominations and day of elections. Section 2. During the March meeting of the board, the chairperson shall appoint a nominating committee consisting of 5 members. This committee shall select its own chairperson and prepare a ballot with a list of candidates for each position in alphabetical order for the June meeting. Schedule. March general board meeting. Board chairperson appoints members of the nominating committee. April general board meeting. Board members vote on the nominating committee. May general board meeting. Only community board members can make nominations for the floor. In the June general meeting, board members vote to elect officers. The chairperson of the nominating committee shall ensure: A, that the nominating committee is prohibited from engaging in any behavior that could be considered electioneering. B, that all nominations for officers in CB7 shall be made from the floor only by community board members and shall end when no more nominations are made during the nominating section in the May meeting. C, the nominating committee is to ensure that all nominating candidates are in good standing in CB7 to hold office. Good standing shall mean the candidates meet the attendance requirements of the borough president's office and the CB7 bylaws at the time of the nomination. D, that the nominating committee obtain a signed form from all candidates within a week of being nominated at the May meeting accepting or declining the nomination. A member cannot accept the nomination for more than one position. E, that the nominating committee is to monitor all procedures regarding the election, such as, but not limited to, handing out the ballots and collecting all the ballots for counting. All ballots must be signed and indicated clearly the candidates being voted for in order to count as a valid vote. Ballots that are not signed will not be counted. There shall be one ballot that will be inclusive of all candidates listed in alphabetical order, running for all positions concurrently. F, the nominating committee makes available to all candidates the contact information of board members if requested by any candidate. G, that nominating committee is to count the votes the same night of the election, and the chairperson of the nominating committee announces the elected person. H, after the ballot count and the announcement of the winners, the chairperson of the nominating committee will submit in a sealed envelope all election documents to the district manager for safe recording keeping. I, no matter if the board, no member of the board can serve as a member of the nominating committee at the same time be a candidate for office. Can everyone heard that? Can I get a motion? Can I get a motion to open nominations?
I motion to open nomination.
I second that motion.
Great. Now I'm on to Article 5, Section 6 of our bylaws states, the chairperson shall be a member of and attend the district service cabinet and borough board meetings. Report to the board and the public on information. Did I do that? Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm speaking about the chairperson position now. The chairperson shall be a member of and attend the district service cabinet and borough board meetings, report to the board and the public on information from such meetings, be an ex-official member of all standing and special committees with the exception of the nominating committee and exercise all those powers granted to the chairperson by the city charter, the Uniform Land Use Review Procedure, and these bylaws. Okay, guys, I'll accept nomination by the CB7 board members from the floor for the chairperson position.
My hand is up. Helene, my hand is up.
Okay,
All right, I'm nominating Yahira Arias for the position of chairperson.
that's ready. Okay,
Yes?
My hand is up also, Helene. I nominate Barbara Stronzer as first vice chair.
Barbara, okay.
I'm sorry, Jean, but we're taking
Wait,
chairperson,
Yeah,
right?
I'm sorry.
Jean, we still on the chairperson. Can y'all hear?
I will fall back. I realize you're still doing chair.
Can anybody, you can hear me?
Yes,
Yes, we can hear you.
My computer is doing,
Helene, we can hear you loud and clear.
oh, okay, because my computer do some crazy stuff sometimes, okay.
Do the nominations have to be seconded?
No.
No, they only need to be accepted by the.
Only be to be named.
Any other nominations for chairperson?
Any other nominations for chairperson? Thank you, Eric. Going once. Going twice. So do I, Betty Austin? I'm sorry if I pronounce your last.
That right, you did it just right. Yeah, I was the one who nominated Yahira,
Right,
okay?
that's why I'm asking any other nomination for chairperson.
Understand?
No?
Now we can do first vice chair.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not jumping the gun this time.
Okay. Article 5, Section 7 of the bylaws states that the first vice chair shall preside over the executive committee and generate the agenda in consultation with the chairperson. In the absence of the chairperson, the first vice chair shall have all the powers and perform all the duties of the chairperson as defined in Article 5 and 6. I'll accept nominations by CB7 board members from the floor for the first vice chairperson.
I, Jean Hill, nominate Barbara Stronzer as first vice chair.
Hey, what's up? How you doing? Yes, hello?
Edgar, you need to mute yourself.
I muted him already. Okay. Helene, you have another hand?
Chad Boyd,
Yes, I nominate Barbara Stronzer for first vice chair.
is there any other nominations for first vice chair? So can we move on?
Yep.
Okay. Article 5, Section 8 of the bylaw states that the second vice chair shall in the absence of chairperson and the first vice chairperson have all the powers and perform all the duties of the chairperson. Refer to Article 5, Section 6. The second vice chairperson shall also perform such duties as assigned by the chairperson of the board. I'll accept nominations by CB7 board members from the floor for the second vice chair position.
Helene,
Yes, what did I miss?
I nominate,
Oh,
I nominate Andrew Leosa for second vice chair.
I nominate Chad Royer for second vice chair.
who's that, Emmanuel? Okay.
I
Yeah,
guess
this
when
is
you
my-
put your hand up, no one answered it, huh?
I'm sorry. This is my first time, so y'all gotta bear with me. I'm getting there.
So I could jump, I don't have to put my hand in, I could just jump in and say something, right?
No,
So that's the way, all right. I hear you.
honestly, I
No problem.
apologize. I'm new
No
to
problem.
this and I'm learning and I will get there. I was so busy writing and reading, I didn't even look up at the hands.
No
Samantha,
problem.
Mr. Grant, and so Alfred Grant,
No, yeah, they already nominated, Chad Royer anyway.
Samantha,
I'd like to nominate Chad Royer for second vice.
yes, he's already nominated.
Thank you.
Carla or Yaira, can somebody nominate somebody twice?
I mean, once they're nominated,
No.
it's just a
Okay.
one-time thing. That's, they don't.
Just one time. Now we can move on to third vice chair. Article 5, Section 9 of our bylaw states, the third vice chairperson shall serve as the chair of the Budget, Personnel, and Ethics Committee and serve as the liaison to the committees with respect to the development of the board's fiscal year budget, as well as the expense and capital budget. The third vice chairperson shall also perform such duties as assigned by the chairperson. I'll accept nominations by CB7 board members from the floor of third vice chair.
You have a couple of hands.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Eileen.
looking now. Edgar,
Yes, I'd like to nominate Andrew Leosa for third vice chair.
Lo,
I'd like to nominate Jean Hill.
Chad Roy.
I nominate Jean Hill.
Okay, she's already nominated, Chad. Gwendolyn Thomas Steed. Gwendolyn Thomas Steed.
Yeah, I nominated Jean, but I understand she's already been nominated.
Okay.
And you have two more hands.
Miss Barbara Stronger.
I was going to nominate Jean, but I understand she's been nominated.
Chad hand is still up. Chad,
My mistake. I'll take it down.
okay. Now we're gonna move on to Article 5, Section 10 of the bylaws. The secretary. The secretary shall record the, Did someone, Eric, you said something?
No,
No,
I'm
I
sorry.
think that was by mistake.
Oh. Article 5, Section 10 of the bylaws states, the secretary shall record the minutes of the meeting, record the minutes of meetings of the board, and shall be in charge of maintaining records of the board, including minutes, reports, communication, and correspondence in conjunction with the district manager. In addition, the secretary shall perform such duties as shall be assigned to the secretary by the chairperson of the board. I'll accept nomination by CB7 board members from the floor for the position of secretary. Chad?
I nominate Ruth Caraballo.
Barbara?
I was going to nominate Ruth also.
Any more nominations for secretary? Going once, going twice? Okay. Last but not least, Article 5, Section 11 of the bylaws. For the member at large. Duties to assist the board in parliamentary, did I say that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Parliamentary procedures and such duties as assigned by the chair. I'll accept nomination by the CB7 board members from the floor for the position of member at large.
I, Jahira Arias, nominate Edgar Ramos.
Jean Hill?
I, Jean Hill, nominate Daisy Perry.
Victor? Sorry, can't pronounce your Victor.
Saldana.
Saldana, okay.
I nominate Jake Wilson. Thank you.
Do the board member have to be here to accept the nomination or?
Yes, they must be here
Yes.
to
Jake
accept the nominations.
Jake
yes.
Wilson is not here. She's absent.
No, she's here.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear her. I didn't hear when you did the attendance. Okay.
Yes.
Is she still on?
She must still be on, otherwise you can't nominate her.
Jake, are you still on?
Don't see her.
I didn't hear her when you said the attendance, when attendance was taken either.
Yeah, she came
She
in.
was-
She came in
She
at
came
all.
in when the motion of the bylaws was
Okay.
presented.
Yeah, no, she can't be nominated if she's not present.
So I'm scratching her name out. Is there any other nominations for member at large? Okay. Can I get a motion to close the nomination?
Motion to close the nominations. That's Betty. Got it?
I have a question.
Wait.
I have a question. I thought you can nominate someone, but they still have to accept it.
Correct.
Period.
We're gonna move to that, Chad. You beat me to the
Oh,
punch.
I'm sorry.
Wait.
My mistake.
So Helene,
Yes.
so now the nominees have to accept or
Okay.
decline the nomination.
so-
And then
But Jude, from my understanding in the past, that has been done by email. Am I right?
Yes, I thought people had a week.
Yes.
I thought, that's what my understanding was. I thought you send them to, they send a link and they changed it?
no, you can't, they have to accept tonight because they have to be here tonight. Then they have to send the email tomorrow
Correct.
saying that they accept.
Okay.
Correct. That's the way we've done it.
I
So.
hope I wrote the name. I hope I wrote the names right.
So those that were nominated tonight, now they have to verbally accept it.
Okay, so I called them,
Wait,
okay,
either accept or decline.
okay,
And if they do accept, they have to send the email saying that they accept so that the board has it in writing.
okay.
Okay.
I'll get Carla to help me, okay.
Okay. At what point in time do we verify
that they're a member in good standing?
That will be up to the once the nominating committee has this information, the nominating committee will meet and double check with budget and personnel to make sure that all nominees are in good standing with the board.
Thank you.
Ready?
I have a question, Helene and Jahira or Carla. Can also a member nominate themselves if they wish to? They don't need to be nominated by someone, right?
No, you can nominate yourself. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can nominate yourself.
Right, so I don't know if that information was given to the members, and if there's any member that wants to nominate themselves, they should be able to do so before we close nominations.
Helene?
Yeah, good point. Okay, thank you, Eric. That's a good point. Do any members of the community board wish to nominate themselves for any officer? Chairperson, first vice chair, second vice chair, third vice chair, secretary, and member at large. Thank you, Eric. Okay, so now we're gonna move on. Chairperson, yeah. You gotta excuse me when I say
It's
your
okay,
name.
that's fine. It's okay.
Very
No
bad
worries.
with name.
It's fine.
Can I just say?
Yahira Arias.
Okay,
It's
Yahira,
okay.
thank you,
Listen,
Yahira
all my
Arias.
life, I've gone through it, so it's okay.
Okay.
So
You
I,
have a
Jahira
unique-
Arias.
You have a unique name.
I, Jahira Arias, accept the nomination for chairperson of Community Board 7.
Okay. First vice chair, we have 2 or 3. We have,
I thought we only had one.
okay, we have,
It's just one for first vice chair, Barbara.
Vice, it was Barbara, correct.
right, I got it confused. I'm sorry, that was second. First vice chair, Barbara Stronza.
Barbara Stronzer accepts the nomination for first vice chair.
Second vice chair. He's not here, is he? Okay.
Who's not there?
Andrew.
Andrew Leosa is here.
Andrew Leosa?
He's been here. Yeah, he's still on the.
Here.
Andrew Leosa, do you accept the nomination for second vice chair?
Andrew Leosa accepts the nomination.
Okay. Chad Boyer, do you accept the nomination for second vice chair?
Chad Royer accepts the nomination for second vice chair.
I must have wrote this one. And we had enough, was it Emmanuel?
No, he
No,
nominated Chad.
Emmanuel nominated Chad.
Okay, so I wrote it wrong. Okay. Third vice chair. Again, we have Andrew.
No, we can't have Andrew
He
again.
can, he's accepted.
Okay, so he can't do that.
Yeah, so he cannot run for third. If he
Right.
accepts the
Correct.
second, he
You're
can't.
right.
accept.
We have Jean Hill. Jean, do you accept?
Dean
Third
Hill
vice chair?
accepts the motion for third vice chair.
Accept it. Great. Okay. Now we down to secretary. Ruth, do you accept the nomination for secretary? I'm bad.
Yes, Ruth Caraballo, accept the nomination for secretary.
I'm bad with names. You guys gotta apologize. I apologize. I'm very bad with names.
It's okay, Helene, you're doing great. You're doing great.
The last one, member at large. Edgar Ramos, do you accept the nomination position for member at large?
Yes, I accept.
Daisy Perry, do you accept the nomination for member at large?
I don't see her anymore.
She left.
I don't see her in the members, so I guess she can't accept.
Okay.
I don't see her. Does anybody else see?
No, she's not in.
Yeah.
She's not on.
And Andrew Leosa has his hand up.
Andrew Leosa?
Yeah, page 5 of the bylaws,
I can't hear him.
section, that the nominating committee obtain a signed form from all candidates within a week of being nominated, a meeting accepting or declining the nomination. Member cannot accept the nomination for more than one position. Doesn't that mean accepting or declining of the nomination, that decision is made when a candidate decides to send in a signed form?
That's what I was under the understanding, but.
Okay, so then that puts us back, we move back to third vice chair where, Andrew, you're also being nominated. Do you accept also that? And you will let us know in writing which one of the two you will be accepting?
Right. So for the record, Andrew Leosa accepts the nomination for the third vice chair.
Okay, so he accept, okay.
Well, second and third. Okay, so.
Wait a minute, did you just say he accepted for second and third? You can only
Yeah,
accept.
because what happened was it's true, until the actual sign thing goes in, it's not official.
So basically it gives him
We
time to
changed the
decide.
rules because once you accepted the nomination for the first position, you couldn't accept for the second one.
In writing.
No.
I just
That's
want to,
how
I
we did
just,
it in the past. I'm just asking for
excuse
clarification.
me, this is Sandra Erickson. I was the nominating committee chair for many years. I just want to say that one in writing gave the nominating committee the opportunity to check on the attendance, that it's a member of good standing. That's why that week is in there. So I know that. I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, but Sandra, clarify, once you accept the nomination for one position, you can't accept for a second position.
In all the years I served in that position, I understood a person could not accept, there wouldn't be for more than one position. That is new to me.
All right.
It's only for one, and the week, people can say that they accept, but they have that week so the committee can validate that person as a candidate.
So to clarify, if someone verbally accepts both positions, it's not permitted to do that?
No, there's
They
not.
can only accept one.
Yeah, the
One.
bylaws don't allow you to accept two nominations. That's what I read, but.
But again, we're distinguishing between verbally accepting here on the floor.
Right.
And the individual then putting in writing that they accept. So it's the same.
Betty, what Sandra's saying is the putting in writing is just so you can check the background to make sure everybody is done all of the meetings and done all of the steps. But once you accept the nomination for the first position, you cannot accept for a second one.
Okay, fine. Okay, so then.
And believe it or not, it has happened. We did have it happen, I think 2 votes ago. So 4 years ago, someone was only on the board for about 10 months. So we had to decline that nomination.
Okay. Make me understand what's going on. As the chairperson, I need to know what's going on here.
Okay, at our meeting, we can certainly, because I'm on the nominating
Okay, because
committee
I'm
as well. We'll go over everything, but so far, everything is being done
I'll have to call
correctly.
you because I'm confused right now.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
my okay. From my understanding, Andrew cannot tonight accept for the step 2 positions after he already accept for the first position.
Correct.
Okay.
My hand is raised. I would like to speak.
Go ahead.
For the record, I'm reading from page 5.
Okay.
Section 2.
Can you
letter
get
D.
section 2?
That, for the record, that the nominating committee obtain a signed form from all candidates within a week of being nominated at the May meeting, accepting or declining the nomination. A member cannot accept the nomination for more than one position.
There you go.
Yes.
That's clear.
That's what we said.
That means that
Thank you.
he can decide once it's in once it's in writing, he has to make a decision. That's what it sounds like to me.
So do I put him back?
Yep, you gotta put it back.
Practices, in
Yes.
past practices, we did not, and you may have changed the rules. In the
No,
new-
the rules have not, that was not changed. That was in the bylaws.
Once you accepted from the floor, then that was it. When you wrote in, you either said, yes, I will accept it, even though you may accept it tonight. You could change your mind in the week's write-in.
Okay.
But once you accepted a position, the first position you accepted, you don't get to accept the second one.
Yes, Andrew's
Okay.
already accepted, and that's how it
Okay.
should be recorded.
And can I give you an example? I was nominated for chair of Community Board 7. At the meeting, I declined it. They still sent me a letter where I had to decline it in writing. You see what I mean?
Okay, but the question,
I declined it in person and then I had to decline it in writing.
okay, but the question here comes down to Andrew's being nominated for 2 positions. He accepted the 2nd vice chair position. He's also being nominated for the 3rd vice chair. The question ends up, do we keep him still on for nominated for 2nd vice chair and 3rd vice chair, or he's only allowed to select one?
He has to select one.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
guys. So I'm sorry, Jean, but as a member of the nominating committee, this is what I think should happen, Helene. I think that we still need to send Andrew a form for the 3rd vice chair where he declines the position as the 3rd, but he accepts, and then another one for the 2nd where he accepts. So he will be getting 2 forms.
Right.
And he would choose which one he wants to accept within a week's time.
Correct.
So
because
he,
that's what the bylaws say.
Eric,
he
please
has-
say it again so everybody gets it. Say it again, please.
I'm sorry, Jean. So yeah,
Just
so
repeat it.
we are going to be sending Andrew 2 forms, one for a 2nd vice chair and one for a 3rd vice chair. And in a week's time, he can decide which of the 2 he will prefer. He has accepted as of now the 2nd vice chair, but we still need to have it in writing that he declined the 3rd.
Yes.
Okay, thanks for the
You
clarification.
understand that?
Yes,
You
that
understand the process that we're gonna do? Everybody's on point?
So that means he could decline. See where I get what Gene Hill is saying. So that means he could decline where he accept the 2nd vice chair and one for 3rd vice chair. How can that be?
The bylaws allow it.
Wow.
Because we still need to have it in writing, Helene.
Wow.
So,
No, I understand the writing, but the bylaws allow you to accept 2 positions?
No, it
no,
doesn't.
he already accepted the 2nd nomination, the nomination for 2nd vice chair, but he still needs to decline the 3rd one in writing.
But that's my point. What if he declined the 2nd vice chair and do the 3rd vice chair?
Then in the ballot, he will show up as the 3rd in the 3rd vice chair column, not on the 2nd.
Andrew, I see your hand. I'm just trying to make clarity of this. Wow. I didn't know you can go for 2 positions.
Well, no, he accepted one, but he has been nominated for 2.
Okay.
He's got a week to decide which position. According to the bylaws, he's got a week to decide. That letter, once it goes in, he can't run for both positions. He can't
Exactly.
say, then if I don't get 2nd vice chair, then I want 3rd. But no, he's got to make a decision within a week.
Okay.
That's what the bylaws allow.
Okay.
He can't run for 2 positions.
But we are all clear that he has accepted the 2nd as of today, as of tonight.
Wow, okay.
Okay, to make it clear, Helene, Andrew being nominated for 2 positions. Now Andrew has a week to decide which of the 2 he will be accepting and declining.
Okay.
That's it. Once you receive that, then you will know exactly which one of the 2 to put on the ballot with his name on it.
Okay.
Exactly. Andrew, go ahead. You had a question, I think. Oh, comment.
I can't hear him. He sounds so far away. I can't hear anything he's saying.
No comment.
Daisy?
Helene, this is
You have two
Helene,
other hands up, though.
I recognize Daisy Perry. Daisy?
Yeah.
Daisy? She's on mute. Miss Perry, Daisy?
Yes, I'm here. What am I being nominated for? What's position?
Where were you?
Member
I
at
logged
large.
off.
You was nominated for member at large.
Does that mean exactly? Not too familiar with that title.
Okay, yeah, because that's fairly new. I'm gonna go back to my paperwork. Hold on.
Anyway, she wasn't here during the nomination.
Oh, that's right. You wasn't here, so.
But we had not closed because everybody started asking questions.
Yeah,
We
but
never closed.
we're not closed yet.
It's not closed yet.
It's not closed.
Let me explain to them what member at large is. This is getting too much. Ooh. Where's that? That's the last one. Okay. Section 10. That's the secretary. Oh, where's my paper? Can you explain to her what member at large is? I seem to lost my paper. They're all over.
I have it, Helene.
You have it. Please explain to her, because I'm all over the place.
Okay, Daisy, you're being nominated for member at large, and it's as follows on our bylaws. Duties to assist the board in parliamentary procedures and as such duties as assigned by the chair. Now, the question is, do you accept or decline the nomination?
Back to this.
Gotta ask a question. So I'm still a committee member, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then if I accept this position, you mentioned during another conversation, if someone nominates me for something else, then I couldn't accept that. So could I ask up front, is there something else that I would be nominated for, or this would be the only title?
You were not nominated for any of the other positions. This was the only one you were nominated for.
Okay. I guess yes, as long as I'm still a committee member, because I don't want to like cancel that out.
A committee member of what?
I'm on the Parks Committee and I'm on.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a.
Yes, you don't lose your committees that you're on.
Oh, okay.
So the question is, you were nominated for member at large. Do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I accept. Thank you. Thanks for explaining.
Okay.
But remember, Jake Wilson came back in, so we have to ask her. She's back in.
Okay.
I saw her. She came back in. So we got.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was on a bus and I got off in the middle of Fordham Road, so I couldn't walk and talk at the same time.
So we got to ask her, do she accept what she was nominated for?
Correct.
And what was I nominated for?
Jake, you were nominated for the position of member at large, and I'm going to read the definition of it again and based on our bylaws. Duty to assist the board in parliamentary procedures and as such duties as assigned by the chair.
I accept.
Okay. All right.
Can you all see me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So do I call it off again?
Okay.
Being that we got thrown off?
Now you can, now the motion.
Okay.
Helene, quick question. I'm trying to raise my hand, but I don't think it's coming up.
No, I don't see your hand. Who's that?
Yeah, no, this is Emmanuel. Quick question.
Okay.
Okay, if you get nominated and you say you decline, what does that mean?
That means you do not want to be a part, you do not want to accept the nomination.
Okay, so what is the point then that we have to send you a letter for you to either accept?
Because the board has to have it in writing for record keeping.
Yeah, so if you decline, they could still send you the letter for you to say, now I change my mind and accept.
You can.
Yes, you can, right? Because they will send you the letter to say you were nominated. You say no, but we send you the letter to say yes or no. The reason why I'm asking is so if the rule says you can't take two positions, and it also goes on to say you must be present, that is why you must confirm a yes or no. The formality is to send you a letter by say, okay, we're going through the records for us to determine whether you qualify or not. But if you are present, you can only accept one. I think that accepts your presence, and acceptance is what matters, because if you are not present, you can't even come in. So if you are present and they give you two positions, you cannot accept all the two and go back and determine which one to choose.
That is correct. That is correct, Emmanuel. What you're saying is correct. But as a record keeping, you still will be sent a form to show that you decline because there is a record that you were nominated.
So what's the record of you declining now? We don't keep that because you say, no, I'm not interested. That's also a record.
Well, the record stays, well, we're doing this via Zoom. However, if we were in person, we would have to have it also in writing. So we're to cover all bases, and for record keeping, which we have to provide to the Bronx Borough President's office. We sent you an email asking you to accept or decline the nomination of that position that you were nominated for.
So if you are not here, they could also send you a position. I mean, they send you an email that
No, if you're not present and if you're not present at this meeting, then you cannot, then there's no letter that you receive.
We not send you anything.
Correct.
Okay, great.
You must be a present member at the time the nomination is made.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
Helene?
Is everybody clear on everything?
Yes.
I'm clear too. Okay, can I get a motion to close the nomination?
Yeah, I move the motion for the closure.
I second the motion.
Guys, don't y'all know this was my first time doing this?
You're still doing good, Helene. It's all right. You're doing great.
Yeah.
You're doing great, Helene.
Yeah.
I second that emotion.
All right. Now what?
Okay, so you have the nominees. Now the nominees will have to respond from the form that the nomination committee will be sending out to them.
Okay.
And then I believe that is it for the nomination part.
When are we gonna send these forms? When do we have to meet again with the nominating committee, or they gonna be sent out, Carla?
Yes, we can definitely have that conversation within the committee offline.
Okay, all right. I'm going on mute.
With that being said, we're moving on. We're moving on to chair reports really quickly. It's already 9:04. So if can keep it really light and sweet so that we can close out. I'm going to start off with budget, personnel, and ethics. Andrew?
Hey, the Budget, Personnel, Ethics Committee last met on Thursday, April 27th, where the internal board budget was discussed. It's on YouTube. Making every effort to spend the remaining balance of the budget for fiscal year 2023, which ends on June 30th. The committee will be meeting in June to review the budget information provided to us by the Office of Management and Budget. In addition, the committee will review the board budget as it relates to the salaries of the two new hires at the two union positions, is the community coordinator and community associate positions. City determines the salary ranges which have been changed in the report.
Thank you, Andrew. Moving on, education, youth and libraries. I know Liberty was not here. Anyone from that committee? Anyone? No one? I know that we had the Yankee scholarships and Carla gave all the names at the beginning of this meeting. So congratulations to those scholarship recipients, and they will be honored Friday, May 26th at Yankee Stadium. Okay. Next, moving on to housing, land use, and economic development. Eric?
I'm gonna pass this over to Sandra to chair the meeting.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for that, Eric. The committee met on May 16th. We had a very spirited discussion on DCP, Department of City Planning's presentation, City of Yes for Carbon Neutrality, a citywide zoning text amendment. Some committee members and community board members had some opposition to it and how buildings will afford it, co-op buildings, homeowners, et cetera, building owners. There was a discussion on perhaps funding being available for some of these initiatives. And as it says in the minutes, there were other community members that were in support of it. We gathered a list of questions for the DCP representative, and Carla will work on presenting answers to some of those questions and comments we received from the board. We also had a couple of reports from the New York City Controller's office, and it ended about, just before 8 o'clock. That ends the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. Moving on, public safety and quality of life. Victor?
Good evening, everyone. We had our meeting the second Thursday of the month. We had NYPD 52nd Precinct report out. We had seen an increase of crime. Again, we are reminding the public to make sure to submit your 311 tickets. So that way we have data in our community of quality of life issues. We also discussed that right now the 52nd Precinct is providing VIN sketching for cars. So if you're interested in getting your car, the VIN number sketched, I guess electronically, or I forgot the term, reach out to Officer Acosta at the 52nd Precinct. We also had a few items requested from the public regarding a bench near Richwood Bank. So we're going to reach out to the traffic committee to see if there's any way to look at what the community thinks of that bench. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. Environment and sanitation, Betty?
Hi, good evening, everyone. We did not have a meeting, and we will meet on first Tuesday in June, June 6th at 7 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Betty. Traffic and transportation, Edgar?
Good evening, everyone. We had our meeting beginning of the month. We have our next meeting coming June 1st. DOT has some announcements for us. Hopefully we'll have some news. TD11 and MTA should be at the meeting. So please come to the meeting June 1st. Thank you.
Thank you, Edgar. Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs, Barbara?
Just a minute. As a
Sorry.
member of the committee, I'd like to make a report.
Okay.
There was a food truck on Bainbridge by the corner of Gun Hill that has always blocked traffic. And it is now on Gun Hill and is not blocking traffic on Bainbridge.
Thank you. Thank you, Lowell. Moving on, Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs, Barbara?
Good evening. We had a presentation on the Tibbetts Brook daylighting project, which you will be hearing more about once it goes into design. We also had quite a few issues and concerns that were brought up throughout all the parks in the district. If you check my minutes, they're all listed. And we decided that next month, it would be great to bring in the captain of the Parks Enforcement Patrol, getting ready for the summer months. So he will be our speaker at our next meeting in June.
Thank you, Barbara. Health and Human Services, Michelle, I know she's not here, but anyone from her committee wants to give the report?
There was no meeting for Health and Human Services.
Okay, thank you, Emmanuel. Veterans Affairs, Chad?
Yes, good evening. So a few things. So I want to give a major shout out to those who showed up at the flagging event at Bronx Victory Memorial. It was a nice event. The singing was wonderful. I can't wait to do it again in November. That being said, we had a discussion about organ donations from a presenter from Live on New York, and we mentioned a few things as it pertains to veterans in the neighborhood. We also brought up a recent council meeting, a hearing that was supposed to be earmarked for Veterans Affairs. There was a lot of controversy behind how it was being presented and how certain people were not able to give testimonies. And we got some opinions from those who attended. The committee has decided that they're gonna try to field some information from the veterans in the neighborhood and veteran advocates and work on some recommendations to move forth to the city council. Since a lot of folks, including the the vendors, the advocates and the family members didn't have a chance to raise questions like they would typically do if they were a private citizen at a hearing. June 3rd is going to be our Veterans Resource Fair. We invite all our folks who knows a veteran or a family member of a veteran advocate to attend so we can get some wonderful resources and interact with our partners so that we can help continue the mission of helping our veterans. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Chad. Moving on. Myrna, ad hoc bylaws?
Yeah, I see Samantha has her hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Samantha?
Thank you. I just got a quick question. With the kids that won the scholarship to Yankee Stadium, do you know the schools that they come from?
Carla would have that information.
Oh, okay, Carla, I'll send you an email. I'm just curious.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry, Myrna, back to you.
Okay, so we did meet on May 17th. We made the final corrections to the bylaws for presentation to the executive board and the full community board 7. Barbara Strauss had recommended a couple of, there was 2 omissions where we accidentally omitted the 3rd vice chair. But then it was explained on page 6 in Article 5, Section 1, but it was missing there, but it was explained on page 6, so we corrected that. We also had clarification from board member Eric Asensio. He was concerned about the 3 consecutive absences and but missing 50% of committee meetings. There was a discrepancy there. And we clarified that it was possible for somebody to have 3 consecutive not have 3 consecutive absences because they attended 3 board members but missed all their committee meetings. So that was corrected in the bylaws, that you have to attend at least 50% of your committee meetings obligations also. So that was clarified. And the other clarification was that nominations could only be taken from the floor by board members of Community Board 7, and the ad hoc committee voted unanimously to submit all the changes to the executive board and full board. And that was it.
Okay, thank you, Myrna. And last but not least, ad hoc nominated committee, Helene. Helene, are you still with us?
Which Helene?
Helene Red, I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm still with you guys.
Okay, so just a quick brief report on the ad hoc nominating committee.
Okay. Hold on a minute. I'm sorry, I got all these papers all over the place too. Someone wanted to know what it is?
No, just let us know, just a quick little snippet as to your last meeting.
I'm not on the ad hoc committee.
You're the chair of the nominating committee.
Oh, I'm supposed to do that?
Yes.
You know what? To be honest, I didn't know I was supposed to do that, and I didn't write anything. Now I know, but I didn't know. I didn't confer with Carla about that. I didn't know I was supposed to do that. I know I didn't even think this was an actual, I thought this was for the nominating committee. I didn't think this was, I should have talked to Carla about that. This was like going to be a continuing committee. I didn't know that. I apologize, guys.
No, it's okay.
Do you want me to give a brief summary?
Yes, Myrna, because so now I know now. Now I know.
So briefly, we met, what date was it? I can't remember the date now. It was the same night, right? The same night as the bylaws committee?
Yes.
May 17th. Present was myself, Helene Red. Who else was? Sandra Erickson. Who else was on the nominating committee?
Eric Asensio.
Eric Asensio. Wasn't there one other person? Was it?
Tasha Andrews was also.
Tasha Andrews. So we met for the purpose to explain what the committee is, the responsibilities of the committee, to explain the order, how these elections would be conducted, the nominations. And I don't remember who made the motion to nominate Helene Red to be chair. Everybody was in unanimous agreement that Helene should. I put you in that mess, right? Okay, I'm sorry. So I nominated Helene Red. She accepted. She in turn asked if there could be a vice chair. And she nominated me. I declined, and I nominated Sandra, but Sandra also declined. We all agreed that we would assist Helene, and that Carla, who is more than capable, Carla Carrera, our new district manager, would also be of great assistance. And as you see, Helene is doing a great job so far. So we made the right choice, and that's it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on, unless anybody else has questions. Open for board member questions and comments.
I just want to say something. I apologize for, what I didn't know in it, but next time will be better. I just apologize. This is new to me. This is my first time, and I'm glad you guys was patient with me.
Okay, no worries. We all had our first, introduction to something at one point in time. So we're here to help you. And I mean, we're all in this together, right?
Right, thank you.
We all learn together.
Thank you.
It's the best thing. Okay, anyone else? Going once, going twice. Okay, moving on. So our next meeting.
I'm sorry, Jahira, I was having difficulty unmuting. The resource fair, when is it again? June?
It's in June. It's the last.
Okay.
June 24th.
June 24th. I'm looking for my notes from earlier.
I'm hoping that we have a better turnout than we did for the parade. And I'm hoping that everyone shows up. And I'm hoping that between now and then, we get real commitments from people to, even if it's doing an hour's time, it's not a long event. So that if we can get people to at least do an hour here and there and help out their colleagues, it would be greatly appreciated.
Yes, the resource fair is a great great way to engage the community, especially since we've had new developments and more families move into our district. So this will be a great way to get more engagement into our board. Okay, Next, moving on, our next meeting date on our agenda had the wrong date. We are, the next general board meeting will be Wednesday, June 28th, as June 27th is a primary election day. So just keep a note that it will be, the general board meeting will be Wednesday, June 28th. Okay, with that being said, close to board business. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to
Motion to
adjourn.
adjourn.
Seconded.
Okay, thank you all. Thank you for a
Thank
wonderful
you. Good
evening. It's
night.
been long, but we
Good
got a lot of things done. So good night, everyone.